What's going on, everyone? So this Western Conference stretch is going to be wild. Most of these teams only have 2 games remaining, and a lot of teams are already locked in position, right? The Nuggets just secured the number 1 seed. The Kings and the Grizzlies, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down the stretch, because the Grizzlies could finish and most likely will finish as the 2 seed, but they haven't fully locked it in. The Kings very likely could end up passing them. The Suns pretty much have the 4th seed locked up, and the Clippers very likely have the 5th seed locked up. And so from the 6th seed down is where it gets really interesting, because depending on how these last 2 games go, a lot of these teams could end up landing anywhere from 6th all the way to 9th, right? So, for example, if the Warriors lose their last 2 games, they could end up falling into 9th place. The Pelicans, same thing. They could end up falling into 9th place, and so could the Lakers if things don't go right. But on the alternative side, the Lakers could very well land the 6th seed. Same thing with the Pelicans. Timberwolves would have a little bit of a stretch, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, right? A lot of things have to go right for that to happen. But Lakers, we need to root for the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings, we are all light the beam fans for one game. The Lakers and the Warriors play the Kings on Friday. And in that game, we need Sacramento to beat the Warriors. Because if the Lakers win their 2 games, the Sacramento Kings beat the Warriors, then the Lakers would finish the season as the 6th seed, which means that they would play Sacramento. Now, here's the problem. What does Sacramento want to do? Because Sacramento very likely knows that, hey, if we beat the Warriors, we're going to have to play the Lakers. So who would the Kings rather play? That's something that they're going to have to ask that question. Would the Sacramento Kings rather play the Warriors in a 7-game series, the defending champions, or would they rather play the Lakers in a 7-game series, who have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, number 1 defense in the league, have been the best team in the West since the trade deadline? That's a real question, and that's not a easy answer, right? Where Sacramento, they also could just say, hey, let's pack it in and rest guys. Whichever team we play, whether we play the Warriors or we play the Lakers, who cares? We just need to rest guys, bring guys in. My hope is it's the last road game. They want to light the beam one more time, and they want to, finish this season on a positive note and end up leading into the playoffs, right? Because they already lost the game. They don't want to get a losing streak going. And so, you want to finish strong, right? So maybe because they're a young team with a lot to prove, they ball out, right? And they end up beating the Warriors. That would be brilliant, because then we would have an absolute real shot at the 6th seed. Thing is, we have the Suns as an obstacle. Now, here's the thing. The Phoenix Suns, like I mentioned, are a team that have everything kind of locked up, right? They have the tiebreaker over the Clippers and the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, and they have a 2.5 game advantage. So they are not going to be able to catch the Kings because there's not enough games, and are very likely going to play the Clippers or the Warriors. The way it's shaping up, very likely the Clippers, because I believe Clippers have the tiebreaker as well. So Sacramento also, if they beat the Warriors, then the Clippers don't have to worry about it. You get my point. But if the Lakers beat the Clippers, which sucks that the Lakers lost, but it could be a blessing in disguise. A lot of people wanted the Lakers to get the 6th seed anyway because they didn't want a first-round matchup against the Suns. The Lakers even said that they want a Sacramento, or reports said that the Lakers want a Sacramento first-round matchup. So if the Kings beat the Warriors, the Suns have a lot of incentive to rest their guys now. Where if the Lakers beat the Clippers, there was actual incentive for the Suns to win that matchup, because statistically and theoretically, the Lakers actually had an opportunity to catch the 4th seed, right? Things would have had to gone right, and it was all this stuff at the time. Also, the Suns beating the Lakers would have dropped them down, and now you don't have to face them. Well, now that the Clippers have won, you are playing the Clippers no matter what, right? Unless the Clippers just drop their last two games and the Warriors win their last two games, you're playing the Clippers in the first round. So if you're the Suns, do you look at this and go, the Clippers, they could be a very tough matchup. We need to get ready. We need to have our guys fresh, healthy, and ready to go. Kevin Durant is already having injury issues, right? He's missed a ton of games. Devin Booker has been injury prone this year. Chris Paul, all these guys. The Suns could very well just pack it in and just say, hey, let's finish these last two games. We won a 6-game win streak. We haven't lost a game with Kevin Durant on this roster. Let's take that on a high note and go into the playoffs. We got to play the Clippers in the first round, who have Kawhi Leonard to match up against Kevin Durant, and you're hopefully, if you're the Clippers, you have Paul George to match up against Devin Booker, and we're off to the races. Let's go, right? So the Suns actually have a lot of incentive to just sit guys out and not even play guys. So that is a benefit in the Lakers' stance. And then the Lakers, of course, would have to play the Utah Jazz. Problem is, too, is the Lakers, again, have to win these two games. And ideally, we need the Pelicans to lose, too. Because here's the problem. If the Pelicans, the Lakers, and the Warriors all finish in a three-way tie, it doesn't just go to a head-to-head tiebreaker like it does with two teams. The Lakers would actually finish with the 8th seed because they have less conference wins than the other two teams. That is not a good scenario. So this is where the dilemma lies, because the Lakers are just in a really bad spot because all of the control has been stripped from them. You still have to win your two games. You have to get that done. Because if everything finishes the way that it is right now, then the Lakers lock up the 7th seed, and you got two home games in the play-in where you only have to win one of them, and now you're playing the Grizzlies in the first round, right? So hopefully you win your two games. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, you're the 7th seed. That's the idea, right? Best case scenario, you end up with the 6th seed. But the Pelicans, again, have to lose. They do, however, play the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that could be the deciding game for who gets the 8th seed and who gets the 9th seed. So the Timberwolves have a lot to play for that game, and the Timberwolves are at home. So that is something worth value for the Lakers. So the Lakers are rooting for the Timberwolves, they're rooting for the Kings, and they're rooting for the Suns to sit all their guys. That is where the Lakers stand right now. It would have been nice to be in control and, be in that situation. But like I said, the Suns may have went all out. The Suns may have played everybody, and, it might have been a dogfight. Lakers get to finish their last two games at home, which is good, right? So basically, Lakers finish with the 7th seed. They will not have to leave LA until the playoffs, right? Because you have your two home games to round out the year. And then if you were in the play-in, you would have your two games at home if you're the 7th seed. So the Lakers could have their next three games, hopefully not a 4, but could be 4. You'd have your next 3 or 4 games in LA. Now, if you get the 6th seed, then your last two games are in LA, and then you'd go to Sacramento game 1, which would be nice because the travel, you don't have a lot of travel, you don't have a lot of distance. That would be huge for the Lakers, right? Because you don't have to do all these long, extravagant flights and all this stuff. You're right there, right? So ideally, we need the Warriors and the Pelicans to lose another game. We need the Phoenix Suns to rest their guys. Not that we can't beat them. I absolutely believe that we can beat the Phoenix Suns, even if they play everybody. I do. It would just be nice if we didn't have to worry about it. It would be nice if our last two games were a bit of a gimme game. Although Utah, we saw how Utah played, but Lakers should win that game. Everybody healthy, everyone there. I think they would take that game a lot more serious because, they know that they have to win that. If they don't, then they are in the play-in. I don't think that they would be coasting like the last time, but it is something worth noting. Regardless, the Lakers could very well end up facing the Pelicans. The Pelicans are tied with us. We have the tiebreaker. If the Warriors do their job and handle business, then it's us and the Pelicans. I believe that the Lakers can beat the Pelicans in the play-in. Absolutely. We've handled them very easily all season. But Zion going to be back. Not only is Zion going to be back, but it is a team that can get hot. It's a team that can win games. It's a team that has played really good basketball as of late. You know, they've been neck and neck with us the entire time. So it is definitely something to keep in mind. So in a perfect world, the Kings will beat the Warriors. The Lakers will win their last 2 games. The Timberwolves will beat the Pelicans. Lakers land the 6th seed. That's my hope. That's what I'm hoping for. But what do you think? Are you a Kings fan? Are you a Timberwolves fan? Just for those 2 games. But hopefully this gets done. Hopefully we see this play out. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below.